Into the black path of Tariqa Azzedini among the Aissaoua in Algiers. In the black path of Tariqa Azzedini, Algiers. Of the black path of Tariqa Azzeddini, Algiers, was first published in 2015 by Martinet Press, and its author is almost unknown in the book, but credit goes to Sheikh Azzeddini for his transmission to his faithful student who sought something else while he was in the French while he was with the French troops in Algeria, and may be thought of as a sort of satanic equivalent to Daughter of Fire by Arina Tweedy, the Naqshbandi path. The difference is that the author delved deeper into evil than the czar house cults of apotropaic and exorcism magic that have some connection to Islam, but essentially renounce it by spirit worship. And non-Muslim Sufi, there are mystics with some connection to Al-Quran and the teachings of Muhammad ibn Abdullah, or I wouldn't call them Sufi, orders to a demonolatry that is like the Yazidi that used to spread all over North Africa to north of Turkey. But they take a demonic take on the Islamic references and those of other cultures of North Africa that would call for an opposition to shayateen min al-jinn, demons from among the type of creation Satan was. The guide here was Sheikh Azzedini of the Azzedini order. As much as the black path of Tariqa Azzedini among the Aissaoua and Algiers is not a complete guide to their mythology and rituals, it still might be important to relate a list in French from what may be said in the Algiers of the following jinn before continuing. And let's Aisha or Aisha Candida is a water genie and may be the same as Aisha Kandisha, the sex goddess. Arifa is known as a benevolent female genie and guardian spirit. Baglet el-Kabur is regarded as an evil spirit in the shape of a mule who roams deserted places and buries men alive. Char Ma Ruch is one of the jinn kings. Hamu Ukaiu is an evil Ifrit in Arabic. Ifrit is Ifrit, okay. Our dust robber, our creative being, powerful jinni that pursues women. Qadem Qam Qama is a jinni. Jinni is the Arabic singular of firebing. Lala Mira is a king among jinn, plural for invisible beings. Lala Makuna, Bent Makun is a powerful and and beneficial jinni. Lala Rakya Bent el Qamar is a benevolent jinn queen. Lala Zawina is a powerful jinni. Mazdar la Aud Daud is a jinni. Malik el Abiad is a beneficial jinni. Maulay Abdel Qadir Jelani is a king among jinn. Nejma is a jinni that is regarded as a healing goddess. Aum Sabyan is regarded as an evil jinni. Gandisa is a jinn of the rivers that causes insanity. Sidi Hamu is a leader, or is it Hamau? Hamu is a leader among jinn. Zagaz is an evil jinn of disease. Might want to consider looking at, Zagan, that sort of thing. The Aissaoua, or the Aissaoua, descend from Tariqa Azzedini. The descent includes groups classified as Zar, or Muslim in Ramadan at most, and the latter category is always Sufi and almost always conservative Muslim. It would be safe to presume that most of the Zar and Sufi would not consider the Azzeddini or the Azzeddin of them. But I feel that it's important to lay down a list of Arabic terminology I compiled that relates to these paths before getting into discussing the black path of Tariqa Azzeddini Algiers further. So, Azzeddin. Okay. Zar, exorcism. See Surah 37. Maluk, 7 entities represented by the 7 colors. Malk, the representative of a number of spirits with 1. Muqaddama, initiatory priest. Zariba, group. Sheikh, old man or community leader. Jadba, ecstatic dance. Ada, habit. A consecration, usually including a sacrifice. Hadara, presences. Tariq, path, or a ritual sequence of music. Shufawa, one aware of the spiritual worlds. Ma'alim, spiritual master. Ma'alim, okay. Hizb, spiritual prescriptions are portions of our litany of works. Layla, night, night ceremonies. Zawiya, assembly, or a lodge. Murid, disciple. Sa'i, seeking, going between the positive pillars mentioned in Genesis 22:2, 2 Chronicles 3:1, and Al-Quran 2:158, which is among the pilgrimage mentioned in Psalm 84:6 and Al-Quran 3:96 and 22:27. Wahsh, beast, the demoniac soul, barren, desolate monster. Nafs, self, lower soul. Napish, or first soul of the Kabbalah. It is said to go through 3 or more stages. A nafsul amara, the animal, susceptible, tolerant, responsive soul, mentioned in Al-Quran 12:53. An-nafs al-lawwama, the self-correcting soul, mentioned in Al-Quran 75:2. An-nafsul mutma'inna, the soul at peace, mentioned in Al-Quran 89:27. Ruh, spirit, formless being. Second soul or ruch of the Kabbalah, mentioned in Al-Quran 1785. Remember, Kabbalah came after Quran, as we know it, 1100s verses. Anasama, intuitive or higher self. Hanashama, our third soul of the Kabbalah. Hayya, ever-living, eternal essence. Chia, our fourth soul in the Kabbalah. Wahdiya, unity. Yechda, or the fifth soul of the Kabbalah. Zawaj, Bijinni. Zawaj Bijin, marriage with the spirit or spirits. You know, because you can be polygamous with the spirits, can't you? How would you like some polygamy with some spirits? Yes. Or maybe no. The cosmology of the Arabic-speaking peoples did not always agree with Islam or any other religion based on a prophet of Allah. As a third preparatory section, I relate a list of some of the miscellaneous cosmology of North Africa. Ghilan, harmful ones, shapeshifters, is a type of spirit that al-Muslimin do not believe exist. If they take the words attributed to Muhammad ibn Abdullah by Islamic historians. Udar, a rapist male jinni, who was said to leave its male victims injured and diseased. Sa'alin, she-ghouls, again, Islam does not believe that jinn physically hurt anybody. Gaddar, ugly genital torturers that roam deserts, said to spring forth from the eggs of Satan, produced by Iblis's union with Bidhuk. Manaf, elevated. Tawagit, other places, the limit breakers. You know, Tagut. Isaf, Mu'atim, the bird feeder, a statue on the southern hillock. Asafa was dedicated to it. And Na'illa, one who attains, a statue on Al-Marwa, was dedicated to it. Hubal, empty, a statue on the roof of Al-Ka'aba was dedicated to it, and was thought to dwell in the cube of Mecca, or on its cloth. The cube, by the way, was never worshipped as far as we can find any evidence. I mean, the Kaaba in Mecca, that is. Alat, goddess, worshipped with dairy or grain products. Al-Uzza, feminine power. Manat, she of fate. Hilal, crescent moon god. Wad, love, depicted as a strong man. Suwa'a, night woman, thought to grant beauty and youthfulness. Yaguth, he helps, a lion or bull. Ya'uq, horse, a protection and swiftness. Nasr. Is it seen or saw? Is it Nasr or Nasr? Eagle, vulture, falcon. Ba'al, household god. Kabirat, prideful ones. They were thought of as celestial deities. Suwa, night goddess. Yahwa, weather, cloud rider and warrior. Ishtarut, she of fertility, wife of this Yahwa. Athtar, a spear god, alleged god anyways. Dehamat is a chaos monster. Bahamut, a giant hippopotamus, an elephant-like fish thing. Gawas, ocean demon. Udrut, wolf demon that shows up at places of violent death. Jaberun, giants. Adami, the bloody ogres that would hang around outside villages at night to eat flesh. Zaman, a time entity. Falak, fire lizard of the inner earth. Mandat, irrigation goddess. Shaba, familiar spirit of the dead. As much as I have left out the reference to Malaika, or the unfallen angels, made of holy light, in the last list, and will leave out much of the demonology in the rest of what I have to say, I will convey of the utmost of the of the demonarchy. Al-Harith, the cultivator, is said to be the name of the Iblis, the spirit of hope, consciousness. The spirit of hope or consciousness. Oh, the spirit of hope, our consciousness of the separateness from Allah, before becoming Azazel, strong cutting off, by refusing the command to bow before Adam. This name is said to connect to Haris wa Harith, lion that digs the earth. I think it's the Mithra myths, right? Abul Murat, father of bitterness, is also a nickname of Shaitan. Some forms of Yazidi mythology of Shaitan wa Malik Taus, cast out of a place and king of peacocks in Avestan. And like the seven sons of the phoenix, parallel the idea of a cosmology of the demon kings of the week, the planetary spheres of Ashams, the ministered, repeated, desolation, service, again, to the left, or hot one. Al-Qamar, purity, soft light. Al-Mariq, the perfumed, marked, lead monoxide. Utarid, spread to the end. Al-Mushtari, the huge, buyer, owner. Al-Zahra, shining. And Zuh-al, shaker, crawl, advance slowly, are attributing to the days starting with sundown Saturday through sunset Sunday and end with sunset Saturday. The monarchy of this order is as follows. Abu Abdullah Sa'id al-Madhab, father of servant of God in the singular, happy, the golden one, glider. Abba Murrah al-Abyad, Abu al-Harith, father of joy, the white one, father of the earthly. Abu Ya'qub al-Ahmar, father of usurper, red one. Or Abu At-Tawabi, father of the followers. Okay, that name, Al-Ahmar, okay. Forgot the little mark there. Burqan, Abu al-Ajanab, twain thunders, gleaming, father of what keeps away. A state during and after sexual activity, Janub. Or Al-Malik Al-Aswad, the Black King. Abal Walid Shamhurish, left-handed of the forest, is father of the newborn, or Mutawakkil, having trust in. Abal Nur al-Abyad Zawba, father of light, the handsome whirlwinds. Maymun Abba Nuh, prosperous, lucky, father of refuge place. So we have a shorter version of these, but you know, Shamharush, Zawba, Maymun, Madhab, Mura, Ahmar, as a result of not being submissive to Allah, God in the singular and definitive, the names are usually said in short, like Al-Mudhib, Al-Abayad, Al-Ahmar, Burqan, Shamhurish, Zawba'a, and Maymun. Marcel Montaigne of Zawiya Azzaqum's introduction. Okay. So corner tree, a corner is the Zawiya, and Azzaqum is a tree that tears and cooks bellies in hell. You know, fitting thing to name demonology after, right? The author was intrigued by the desert and what a masjid was like empty, but lacked curiosity about the fundamental sources of Islam and grew in opposition to Orthodox religion, as he was a foreign soldier in Northwest Africa, where modern rebel groups have brought wealth from vice into the region. South of Tunis was Nafta. There was quite the prominence of Sufi orders there, but the we gna o e yeah, but the Aissaoui Gna we Hamadcha and others seemed only minorly connected to Islam. Okay, so the spelling Aissaoui, then Gnaoui, and then Hamadcha. And others seemed only minorly connected with Islam. I would say that the Tsar cults only would be considered legally Muslim outside of Ramadan at most, or inside of Ramadan at most. What could be said of the actual Islam for a person who will give up worship of devils and such only for Ramadan? Sometimes people outside these groups were allowed to witness, and other times they weren't. It was time for the French soldier to see for himself. He went to the edge of Chat el Jared Salt Lake to meet Sheikh Azzeddini and his branch off the Aissaoua spinoff of Ashadouliya. They were honoring Sidi Ben Issa in an annual festival. Instead of empty in the middle of the night, these zawiyas showed their secrets more at night. But what greater a secret is by the belief and practice of a path. The author was soon to learn of a rebellious young man, and happened to him when he mocked one of the desert ceremonies. The possession that followed led to a disgusting and violent testing at a peak between Algeria and Libya. with a mountain range called Kaf al-Janoon, Cave of Spirits. Taubqal, the forbidden mountain of Haruch, and places attributed to other jinn have similar mythologies. Around Arizona and New Mexico is another harem of the jinn. According to local tribes there, Azzedini became indifferent to what scarred his young friend, and the jinn didn't leave him alone, but he was called to be the prophet of Azazel, Iblis, a shaitan. It showed a vision of a dark path away from a golden city, and cursed what was accepting of a law, God in Arabic, singular and definitive form. He would pave the way for what was called a Dajjal, or the deceiver, by al-Muslimin, and the worship of Hawiya, or the absolute. Azzeddini, as in the absolute pit, the abyss. Azzeddini abandoned all hope of God and chose to learn Satan's black path. Sheikh Azzeddini became a wali, Azazel, our saint of the cut-off one. Despite the French soldiers' embarrassment, this person, who lacked knowledge of religion, was selected to transmit the message of this little-known satanic group to the West. Sometimes a blank slate is needed, but we need to remember that other times require a person who can translate in the language and style of other paths. Now remember, we are dealing with a bigger book, and I'm commenting and trying to throw other things in to explain what I am commenting on. If you want to hear the stories of his initiation, what he had to go through to and stuff, by the book. Genesis of the Black Path of Tariqa Azzedini of the Algiers from Martinet Press. A few hundred years after the Ashaduli appeared, after the Ashaduliya appeared, the Aissaoua branched off from that, and the relatively new Jazuliya order in a way in which they were rejected by both Islam and not considered Sufi by other sects. The Jazawi, though the Jazawi, the Jazawli treatment of the leader as a replacement of a prophet, and the wild, almost immoral spirit of the Aissaoua Tariqa was key to why, along with learning from the like of Gayat ul Hakim, Picatrix, they learned how to become Kahin, or soothsayers, and Majnun, or possessed. Otherwise, they seemed to be pious believers in mainstream religion. The colonial powers were less tolerant of such groups because the Bible condemns such tolerance of witches and lycanthropes, or shapeshifters. The New York Times shocked the world with their February 12, 1882 account of the Aissaoua festivals. This confirmed the rumors of such groups in the Islamic world. Local lodges still exist, but are not as much a part of the big picture as other religious organizations. Bay'ah, or pledge of allegiance, is given to a local leader instead. Like Aissaoua, Azzeddini believe in a celestial, terrestrial, and infernal existence, with an esoteric, or Rahir side, and a Batin, or Gabe, or esoteric side. As far as religious use and interpretation goes, the ethnic, or Wataniya is a third category. Then the worlds are given to their respective beings by Allah, the light beings and pious, the animals and beings of choice, and the demons are sinful dead. Humans and jinn have their choice. What their final desert is. Mysticism and religion are the ways to purification. A spirit guide is considered essential. Physical and mental sickness is sometimes fought through spirit possession and exorcism. The Azzeddini are a much smaller group with their 5 sinners. They deem Allah as a demiurge, claiming authority for what Hawiya, or the absolute pit, did instead. Darkness, or Archalim, seems to be ever victorious over An-Nur, or light, by them, but still regulates the 3 universes according to them. The difference between the type of creation of the fallen angels and the type that didn't fall is not distinct in Azzedini mythology. The choice for beings is towards serving the light, as in Al-Quran 51, 56 through 58. You know, that's the passage that has the purpose of life, the reason, and a response. And the union with the absolute pit. The worship remains with themselves, as opposed to how some Sufiya condemn the nafs and work to be one with what Orthodox religion deems to be hell. Mysticism can form ma'arifa, or knowledge of the unseen, and becoming a beast, or wahsh, at the depths of your soul, and their ekstase, or ecstasy, extase. Their ekstase, or ecstasy. They may reach into a different level, into a different ahwal, or states, and one of the stations are maqamat, but the Azzedini are. This and more is why the Azzedini are called Zanadiq deviators, or Zanadiq deviators, are Iblis Siya, satanic. But that can be an apt description rather than an insult. Tagut and a shaitan is what Hawiya, or the abyss, is to them. They will knowingly deal with the lesser shayateen min al-jinn, but even the Azzedini and the Aissaoua acknowledge that any jinn can be dangerous. Is it Aissaoua? Yeah, I think it's Ain. Aissaoua. The Azzeddini typically mention Azazel in the same way Aissaoua would mention God and focus on shaitan rather than the elements. Focus on shayateen rather than elementals from the jinn. The Azzedini do not ritually cut themselves as the Aissaoua in replacement for other animal sacrifices, but may add to them by this as an extra. And there may be drugs involved, yes. And, okay, Deuteronomy, Leviticus, Proverbs, and other such things of the black path of Tariqa Azzeddini. Can science not be trusted? Certainly, perceptions of what science is can change. The secret passed from Cheikh to Murid, and is said to be something that transfers between hearts, or qalb, when both are ready. The Azzeddini Sir ul Asrar, or secret of secrets, might be an even more dangerous flame being passed in secluded darkness, like a sort of long-term spirit possession. A Mokaddemme in the Zawiya would pay attention to the nighttime celebrants, lest they transform too quickly or wrongly. When I wrote my lists for such as the like the Goetia and Grimorium Verum-like workings, well, there's more Grimorium Verum-like workings to share, by the way, people would take the verses in context and meanings aside from those represented by the grimoires and scriptures that they are in. Likewise, the Azzedini may take explicitly Islamic verses and teachings as a means into their own ends. In what sense can a human become a jinn, and a fire being become a clay being? The Yazidi, on the other side of the Mediterranean Sea, see this as merging with the Davas, or jinn, in purpose and being the physical manifestation of their will. The Order of Nine Angles would say Nixion, right? Those of the Black City are called to become the beasts they just deem themselves ready to be, fuel for hell, but not in a masochistic sense. Just like the secret, the bay'ah, or initiation, is also a parallel with Sufism. The Ruhaniya, or esotericism, of the Azzedini is also something said to be by living example and not just by book learning. There are scholars who are not teachers and teachers that are not scholars, but one wants both. The teaching is not always deemed the best or the easiest, but the tradition is trusted. Those without a sheikh may have a Zazil, a shaitan, Hawiya, or by whatever name you call Iblis or the devil, as their teacher of the way to barakah or blessing. This can be seen as an antinomial take on a similar saying of Muhammad ibn Abdullah. The Tariqa, or order, is to enhance the role that is given to the Shaykh. Shaykh, as a deen, speaks of hypocrisy. But can other paths really be blamed for the beliefs and practices contrary to them? A person on his path is to work with others in their spiritual war in order that victory be achieved for his own group. The Azzeddini certainly can be hardcore in their physical army level training in their lodges. The Wahsh, or beast self, is said to watch and react upon them when they are now, or where they are now. Individual Taifa, or cells, continue training on a small scale with their study and rituals. Will the shayateen min al jinn abandon their comrades? Instead of a body, mind, and soul, a Azzedini might deem there to be a jasad, body, ruh, spirit, and wahsh, beast, instead of nafs, soul. A wahsh can be at war with the intellectual ruh. Can a person be as just a body without the beast of a self? A person deeming the wahsh to be their true personality starts with the wahsh asagir, little beasts, then develops the wahsh kabir, beast that's big. Wahsh asagir, okay. Wahsh kabir. Either is seen as the monster between this life, dunya, and the afterlife, akhira, that connects to hawiya. Criticism is leveled against Islam for trying to remove the wahsh from the souls and refine them. But is this really repression? Can the inner beast be killed or driven off while we are alive? More is said in the book, and much of what I say has side information. But I know that the great beast is also known as the Bat al-Ard, whom is with Ad-Dajjal, the beast out of man, bearer of Solomon's ring, worker of Moses' wand, the greater beastly voice that unites the lesser beasts, that whisper or otherwise communicate to the humans. You may not like what is coming in the end times are here now, but that doesn't mean it is not the reality. Some people would seek to exercise the soul, as it is called. Shaykh Azzedini speaks of a Genesis that reminds of the Genesis and Tanakh, or the Hebrew Bible. A tagut is as an alien to the universe, known as Tanin, or the dragon. Tum-tum, Tom, Tan, Tiamat, the dragon, a shaitan, Azazel, Hawiya. Oh, well, I'm interested. Other Tanin is an Arabic term for the dragon. Okay. Bida'un are what the other primordial beings of the chaos are called, and Azazel is said to be over them. Zagania, remember that being in the Goetia, is seen as the same Belial of Western demonology. Well, no, I see that as what, number 61 of the Goetia? Yeah. Allah, which is the singular and definitive form of the word for God in Arabic, is seen by them to make empty claims of his creative, omnipotent, omniscient, and omnipresent natures. They believe blood and water will be the consuming force of the one called God by religion. The humans are considered in a special place with their wash to become shayateen min annas, or human devils, by means of remembrance, dhikr, ritual, a salat, and ecstatic trance. Who will you trust on how to behave, or whether to become one's lower or inner or higher or outer self? Which of the unseen forces is the trickster? What side is best for males and females? Some of the spiritual beings are not either, but are only perceived as muthakar or mu'anath. A shaitan wants humans to return with him, and Allah wants to be the willing return of humans. Who will you choose? And practices of Tariqa Azzedini of the Algiers. And when I posted this, there was somebody associated with Martinet Press. I think even the author was in one of those Facebook groups. In Islamic tradition, there is in general a discouragement to count out dhikr, a remembrance with more than your own mind or body, but the dhikrush shayateen, or mention of demons, can be on 1,000 bead strains. This is an example of what 1,000 beads would look like, right? Of course, with an extra bead to denote the change in a grouping of 100. It turns out that I can't find the pack or two more of glow beads at the moment to illustrate how many that will be. I had to get it. It took months to get to find all the beads, but sometimes that's necessary to complete your spiritual ritual, right? That would be the like of a shaitan, the adversary. Mul ul wuh ush, master of beasts. Sultan, or Malik al-Aswad, authority, king of the black. At-Tagut, transgressor. Hawiya, deepest abyss. Zagania, disease giver. Uzza, mighty she, and Aisha, feminine, are as Asma al-Awwal, or Asma Sawada, the terrible names to transfer with, black names. It is through active practices like this, which the passiveness of it becoming automatic, in which something else comes in. Kind of like what some people say about incantation. Just like the Tsar and Sufi. Oh, pronounced as Sufiya, pure wool, after tasawwuf, are untenable. Azzeddini are best, and taifa are cells, with zawiya are communal houses, but one on the black path does what they can. The Shadduliya's weird or watering place, our litany with different numbers of recitation, more or less follows the layout of the Azzedini one, but with focus on the jinn of that house, glorification of Azazel, the deity's mother of negativity, night, and kind, Kagut, Al-Quran 101:9, and a formula that makes Azazel as his master to make connections for with his companions. That makes Azazel take him as his as master over him. Make connections with for his companions. It's not Azazel. You become master of the devil. It's that it's that the devil accepts that role as master over you. Okay. A person tries to experience a round or so on a daily basis of those practices from a sheikh, and at the other occasions they were given for. Kadhikr is the sympathetic obsession that evokes the person doing it to be pleasing to the entity they choose to get on their side by sympathetic means. By correspondence, more and more of life and the person becomes surrendered and one with the spiritual practice. There are secrets that come by that and by the individual guidance of the sheikh along their way to the black city of this life and the afterlife. Ritual settings can be simple or complex. Rugs facilitate being close to the ground or imitating when one is just a thin layer away from nature. Incense can be general or in devotion to certain of the shayateen min al-jinn. Tasbih, to travel swiftly, are bead strains that count out practices with. Music is often the style of the area, but with patterns and messages to evoke the desired feelings and beings. Magical tools can be representative or necessary to perform the tasks of the worshippers. Amulets are a way that the Azzedini try to connect with the barakah, or blessings of the unseen. The belief that such objects can protect or have power on their own shows by itself that they are not legally in the fold of Islam. The Azawiyat, or corner ritual huts, are considered sacred by their use in the way of talismans, rather than in being eternally consecrated as sacred in the way, like mainstream religions do. Without use, a house of worship is given to the use of the spiritual and natural forces to do with what as they are able. Udhiya are, on the surface, are the blood sacrifices that can be of bulls, camels, or whatever is fitting to the unseen beings. Like those of al-Muslimin, these are eaten, but the blood is the purpose. And it is saved for future ritual use. They might also offer human blood, and rumors exist of past human sacrifices. Like the Krishnatarian diet, the food offered to the Absolute is thought to acquire a level of blessing. Ekstase. Ekstase. Or moon anashi is the ecstatic trance that develops in long undisturbed rituals. Azzeddini abandoned to the wash among litanies, rhythmic movement, and may even shapeshift or become possessed, but not by asking. In the black path of Tariqa Azzedini among the Aissaoua in the Algiers, we have a series of rituals to perform with certain colors and items in ceremonies led by a mokaddeme and a chorus in Lila, or night ceremonies. Lila? Maybe it's Lila. Blue, red, white, black, pink, and black are examples of what is used for beings mentioned in the book. The author mentions the Jilala, majestic greatness, Gun Awa, black guard traditions of keeping people in and those of protecting the circle can hearken to such groups for the occult practitioners, and Arabiya, clear speakers, are the three families of tradition. Mention all the families as such, but there are others. They don't mention all the families as such, but there are others, like the Hamad Asha, yeah. The Hamad Asha, yeah. Hamad Asha. Hamad Asha. Okay, whatever. I think I said it right with one of them. And there may be known traditional or taqlidi groups. 3 spirits from the first group, 1 from the second, and 2 from the third are listed. Sidi Musa, master saved from water, can be seen over legions. The 70 leaders of Numbers 11:16 and Quran 7:155 may very well connect the concepts of the monarchy with chief spirits over spirits under him. Basha Hamu Mao or Sharb Damau or Al Humma, good tidings of a father-in-law, blood drinker, brings heat to the body, is a vampiric spirit. People blame it for illness. Shem Furish, forest on the left, has a daughter, Magalush, who is the guardian of the 5th gate of Satan. There is a peak called Tabqal that is his forbidden or haram peak, and the place where pilgrimages are made for him. Baba or Sidi Memaun, father or master's prosperity, is as what is spoken about in Isaiah 65:11 and Luke 16:9-11 as the infamous Mammon, alleged deity of luck and fortune, but can also relate to trustworthiness. Lala Malika, Lady Queen, is said to be a chief goddess of hell, marriages, staying out of trouble, and pregnancy. Few jinn are said to be as like humans as her. Aisha Kandisha, or Aisha Candida, she who lives, womanly lady, and is comely, are threshing zealously, our splendor loves to be watered, like what is tossed or wandering, is a sex demoness of drains and revenge. She is said to have legs like a goat or a camel and appear to lead men to their doom. Some spirits are considered provincial and others are considered of universal importance. The aforementioned are some considered for all humanity, but it may be important to consider a variety of teachings of demonology and other cosmology before involving oneself in some ritualistic behaviors. I related what I received mystically pertaining to a place I lived by in 7th grade, La Grande, Oregon. So HTTP, look up La Grande, Oregon on my channel and you'll see this video. HTTPS www.youtube.com/watch question V equals VGF8 JRKVULQ and list equals PLUUPYNQCVVE3JHR2TNM M5SH dash HSKZNXORV and index equals 2 and T equals 9S. The revelations of Sheikh Azzedini. Since the black path of Tariqa Azzedini is about a satanic path that emerged with Sheikh Azzeddini as Azazel's or Iblis's prophet, it is fitting that this text closes with Revelation as its 4th chapter and Origins as its 1st, with instructions and practices in between. The apocalypse of Sheikh Azzeddini focuses on a Dajjal or the false Messiah mentioned by monotheistic faiths and their descendants, but with Allah, the Arabic and singular definitive form of the word God, falling from pride, and the Dajjal establishing his rule after defeating the final Messiah of the non-satanic. Islam and Christianity are said to be the supreme faiths there, but they will be at war with each other and the other faiths. Does that have to be the case? The Bible certainly supports the idea of war and persecution of all who don't treat Jesus as a god, and destruction of their media, as I've enumerated in other videos. A male and a female disciple will make incarnation of a shaitan possible by their golden one, a Dajjal in this terminology, the golden one child. There is a group attached to the Order of 9 Angles that claims such a child was born in Japan in 1994 or 1997, I forget which at the moment, and has a birthday in September, which he will be known publicly for his power in 2017, rather than just secretly as Vindex. Well, I guess 2017 has passed, and unless it's actually something I've asked people who were involved with the ONA, and it's like they don't want to give an opinion about Poppy, really, because Poppy went to Japan, and I think it was somebody born the year that Mariah Pariah was born. As Iblis's representative, he will give a call known only to the beast, Ul Wuhush, demonic souls, and they will be given an occult mark that they may recognize each other with by this unseen mark. I've learned from Enochian and other authors on other things that psychically and spiritually marks can be left that other people into that thing will know it. They will be exposed as being of that rank or of that path by their these things. He will kiss each Sahaba companion, giving them a perfume smell that build his army that forces a return among them to worshiping the Trinity of goddesses renounced in the chapter of Al-Quran that means the star. Black flags will be over Israel, and he will free the Russians and the Chinese to roam out of the steppes of Asia, in an age of science and demonic magic. People will seem to be able to go back and forth between the afterlife and the gateways for the absolute pit, Al-Hawiyah. The holy and unseen beings will be seen, and people will deem death conquerable before a final battle where all but the Satanists will be eliminated. Then it is said to be a dominion from Ad-Dajjal's northern throne to the loss of this corner of the universe, or even the big crunch. What is the truth behind these things? They are certainly parallels from anything to from Islam to the end-time ideas of the peoples of this world that predate Al-Quran, as revealed physically. I mean, as in known chronologically in this world. Reformist of scripture-based religions, like stereotypical mujahideen groups and new faiths, also have ideas that will be like are mirrors of some of what one will find mentioned here. True or not, myths and such are for their use. They're trying to get the message across. And let me make sure here that August 1st. فَأُمُّهُ هَاوِيَةٌ فَأُمُّهُ هَاوِيَةٌ فَأُمُّهُ هَاوِيَةٌ فَأُمُّهُ هَاوِيَةٌ فَأُمُّهُ هَاوِيَةٌ